Welcome. Today we're going to take a look at MLA expectations for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students. At Boulder Universal, we're going to expect all 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students to follow all of the expectations of MLA when citing sources for a works cited page and for an in-text citation. So let's take a look at online sources. For an online source, students need to include the author's name, the title of the piece, the publisher, the publication date, the URL, and the access date. And you'll see here that we have an example. So we have the author's name, last name, comma, first name, period. We have the title of the article, which since it's an article goes into quotation marks. We have the title of the publisher, Washington Post here, which is italicized. We have the publication date, 26th of October, 2021. We have the URL that goes directly to that piece. And we have the access date here, access 26 October 2021. So you'll see that we have all the information for our online source. If we're looking at periodicals, we expect students to include the author's name, the title of the piece, contributors, edition, version, or numbers. Those are less common, but if you run across them, please include them. The title of the publication date, and the location, specifically looking at page numbers. So here's an example. We have the author's name, which goes last name, comma, first name, period. Title of the piece, in quotation marks, The Unsung Heroes of Hong Kong. The title of the publication, The New York Times. The publication date, 24th of November, 1998. And the page numbers, which is abbreviated PP, period, C12, which includes the section and the page number. That is the way that you would cite a source for a periodical in your works cited page. For paper sources, we expect author's name, title of the piece, city of publication, title of the publication, and the publication date. So here we've got an example, which is Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. So we've got last name, comma, first name, period, for the writer. We have the title of the piece, since this is a book, it is going to be italicized. We have the city. We have the publisher, Simon & Schuster, and we have the publication date. We only need the year on publication date. For other sources, there are a lot of other different kinds of sources that you may use for your papers and projects. These might be YouTube videos, paintings, interviews, speeches, songs, photographs, documentaries, performances, podcasts, digital files, and so forth. There are a whole bunch of different ones. What I would recommend on these is that you look them up. Don't try to make it up. Just look them up instead. So you can grab an MLA handbook. We have multiple copies of this in the BU lab. Or you can go to the Owl Purdue MLA Style Guide website, and they've got examples and explanations that you can look up there. I would recommend, again, you don't try to make it up, but rather that you look it up. So go to those two sources to look those up. Okay, next, let's take a look at in-text citations. For in-text citations, we want students to follow all of the information that you would use for MLA. So these will follow all sentences where the writer borrows information from a source. So this would include direct quotations, paraphrase information, data or statistics, or an original idea. If you borrow any of those things, you need to cite your source. Your in-text citation needs to include the author's last name and the page number. We've got an example right here, which is Leonard 12, author's last name, page number. If you do not have an author's name, list the article's title. Article's title is arrested for refusing. You don't necessarily have to include the entire title. The first couple of words is perfectly fine. Page number goes at the end of that. Okay, that's what an in-text citation is going to look like. So to review the expectations for 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students, this is what we expect. 10th through 12th grade students need to create a works cited page with entries for each source listed in MLA format. You need to include in-text citations at the end of each sentence where you borrowed information from a source. Those in-text citations typically go in the body paragraphs. And the last question, can 10th through 12th grade students use citation generators? The answer is no. We want our 10th through 12th grade students to be adept enough at using MLA style that you do not need to lean on EasyBib or Citation Machine or these other kinds of websites that do your citations for you. We want you to do this on your own. Okay? If you have any additional questions, please reach out to your teacher directly so your teacher can help you with this. But these are the expectations for 10th through 12th grade students.